Hi there everyone. My name is Cameron Buck and today I'm going to show you how to generate your county's average new cases per 100,000 residents over the last 14 days. Now, this is a number that is reported on the state's EpiCurve website, but a lot of the time as they release the data, usually around 3 o'clock, they take a long time to actually update that EpiCurve with that data. And so this is going to be a way for you to get that early so that you know kind of what the most up-to-date information is rather than having to wait. So I have an Excel document open here and I've got 4 columns labeled. I have new COVID cases, a constant, the date, and the average new cases per 100,000 residents. So it's kind of important that these two are next to each other just because it's going to make it easier here in just a moment for us. But for now, what we need to do is we need to fill in this constant column. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out our county's population. So I just Google Sullivan County population. That's the county that I'll be using as an example in this. And it's 158,348 as of 2019. And that's important because the health department for your county, when they report things, they might have a more updated number than this. So it might be very slightly off, but it should be very, very, very close. So this is our number, 158,348. So here is what we're going to do with that. We're going to go to the box underneath the constant header there. And up here, we're going to type equals 100,000 divided by, which is a slash, that number, 158,348. Or you use whatever number it is for your county. We hit enter, and it's going to do that division for us and give us a big long decimal. Okay? Now, because we want 14 days, we want this repeated 14 times down through here. So 14 is going to be, since this is row 2, that's going to be 2 to 15. Now if I wasn't using this, it would be 1 to 14, but we just shift that down by 1. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to click this box, and then there's this little corner here that has a square in it, and I'm circling right there. If you put your mouse right over that, it'll change what it looks like. And then you can click and drag, and you can drag it all the way down, and it will copy the formula that we typed in up at the top to all of those boxes. Okay? Now, we need to get our actual data. So we need to know how many new cases we had on each day in our county. And how we're going to do that is we're going to go to this website. Okay, this is tn.gov/health/cedep/incove, and that'll get us right here. Okay, and this is the website that the state's updating every day. We're going to click on the picture of Tennessee right here, and then we've got all this stuff. Again, the EpiCurve is really what we're going to look at here. One of the numbers reported on that page, but that page isn't always updated super quickly. Okay, so instead we are going to go over here to downloadable data sets, and we want the new cases for each county. So we'll click on County New, and that's going to download an Excel sheet. We can open that, and here it is. Okay, and it's got click Enable Editing. This is from the state, so I'm going to assume it's safe. Okay, I'll zoom in some. We can see that they have just a whole bunch of stuff, but the issue that we run into immediately is this is not just Sullivan County. Here's a Sullivan County, and here's a Sullivan County, and there's one, but there's all these other ones in the middle, and I don't want to go through and pick out each individual one. So what we'll do is, up here in our top ribbon, and if you don't see this, it might be looking like this. We need to hit Home, and then we can pin it there and it'll stay. So up here in our top home ribbon, we're on the home tab, we'll come over here to sort and filter, and then just click filter. That's it. And it'll add all of these little drop downs right here. So we can go to county, click the drop down, and I can uncheck select all and then scroll down and find my county. So here's Sullivan, I'm only going to check that one. And now I just have Sullivan County through here, okay? And then we can go even further. Because I just want the most recent 14 days, I'm going to get rid of every month except for July. And now I have way less stuff to look at, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days, okay? We can right click and copy and then open up our document, and those are the dates, so we're just going to paste them in here, okay? Then we can come back over here and we want the new cases, and if we expand some of these, we can see we have total cases, new cases, total confirmed cases, new confirmed cases. We're just looking at new cases, okay? So if I just follow this over, we want from here down, and that's 14. So we can again just copy, open up our document. This is the new cases, and we click paste. There they are, okay? And now we're actually pretty much done with this, okay? We don't really have to go back there anymore. So here's what we have. We have how many new cases are there in a specific date. We have a number to convert that into an average per 100,000 residents. So this is going to divide it by how many people are in your county and then multiply it by 100,000, and that is how we convert that. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to come over here to the first box under average new cases, type equals, and again it's going to automatically be filling in up here in the formula, and then we're going to click on this first number. I'm going to type an asterisk for multiply, and then I'm going to click on the constant number right there. So this is column A, row 2, A2, times column B, row 2, so B2. That's what we have here. And then we hit enter. And that is our average case per 100,000 residents for that specific day. Now again, we're going to do the same thing we did before. Click this little box in the corner and drag it all the way down. And it's going to do that for each one. So it didn't just do the 18 times the 0.63, then it did 19 times that, 11 times that, 21 times that, and that's why we see all of these different ones down through here, okay? Now, to get your average number, okay, to get your average number, what you're going to do is you can go just to any empty box. I like to use the one immediately below these numbers, but you can go to any empty box. Again, we're going to type a formula, so we'll type equals, and then I'm going to type average. You can see up here that it starts to tell me what things it's able to do. We just want regular average, so average, and I'm going to hit the tab key, and that gives me, it fixes some of the formatting for us. So it gives me all capital letters, and then it gives me an opening parentheses. And then I'm just going to click and drag from this top number to this bottom number, from here all the way down. And then I hit enter. And here is our average of those 14 days. Okay, so this is the number that the state reports. And as of now, they will not have updated, so it's the 22nd right now. But this is only through the 21st. Because that's the most updated numbers that they have. So we can double check that. Our number is 13.667, and they only report 2 decimal places, so we would round that up to 13.67, okay? So if we go over here and we actually go back a page and pull up the epi curve for our state's or our county, and I search for Sullivan, there it is, we can see there's our number right there, 13.67. So we're right on the money. Now, if you want to see this graph, that's also really easy to do because of how we set this up. Okay, so here is how that graph works. We are going to click and drag from date all the way down to here. We don't want this last number, okay? We just want from date to here. And so we've got 2 columns and 15 rows in each column if you include the top ones. We're going to come up here to Insert, and then over here there's Charts. And we just want to click this first like bar graph right here and just click the first one. And here we have pretty much almost exactly what the state puts out. Theirs is a little bit squished together. I'll pull these up side by side. Here we go. There's a little bit more squished than mine is. You can see they've got a red line going at 10. Well, we don't need that red line. We can put it in, but we can also just see there's where 10 is. 10 is what they consider the threshold. And so we're averaging above 10. So you can see here's our numbers are really close. So that value says 6.946, which rounds up to 6.95. And oh, look over here, there's 6.95. And there's a little bit more interactive. It'll tell you things like exactly how many new cases one corresponds to. We can see that here. So this value is 25.26 on the 18th. And if we look back on the 18th, there's our 40 cases. So there's a little bit more interactive, which is part of why I think it takes them a little bit longer. But overall, this is how we generate that number. So now we have that number earlier, and we can think about what does that mean for us? Is this number getting higher? Is the number getting lower? And so on. Now, there is a second graph that I want to show us how to make as well. So down here at the bottom, let me bring this up bigger. I'm going to make a new tab. Okay, this one is a tad more involved, but only just barely. Okay, and we're going to go back to this public data set that they have. Okay, and I'm going to recheck everything. In the dates. I'm still just going to leave it as Sullivan County, okay? But I'm going to recheck everything in the dates. Now, I'm going to take all of this from date over to new cases. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down as far as we have. There we go. And I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it in my new tab over here. Okay, and now I'm going to get rid of this column, just the Sullivan County column. Delete. Okay, it's all gone. I press the delete key. I want it to stay blank. I don't want to actually move these two over. I just want it to stay blank. Okay, now we're going to do the same conversion that we did before. So let's have our constant, and we're going to have our rate per 100,000. Okay, so our constant, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be this equals 100,000 divided by 158,348. So I can just copy that. Whoops, wrong place. Bring it over here. Paste and hit enter, and then I'm going to drag that box all the way down. There we go. Okay, and then same thing as before. I'm going to do equals the new cases times the constant, and I'm going to click that box and drag it all the way down, all the way to the bottom. There we go. Now, this is and we can have it extend up as well. This is where it gets a little bit weird, okay? So we're going to start here and we're going to count down. So this is the first day. I'll zoom in. This is the first day that we have anything, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Here is the 14th day that the state started counting things, at least for our county. So I'm going to hit equals, type in average again, hit tab, and then go from that day's rate all the way up and hit enter. Okay, this gives me the 14-day average that was reported on that day. Okay, that's the same 14-day average that we have here, but it's the 14-day average that was reported for that day, for March 22nd. And now I'm going to take that and drag it all the way down. There it is. There's that 13.67 after rounding that we had for today, or for yesterday, I guess. And now what we can do is we can copy and paste, not copy and paste, we can highlight from date, the top left box, we can highlight all of the first two columns all the way down. Now we're going to go back to insert, and then we're going to go to charts, but instead of this first chart, we're going to click on this scatter plot down here. And then we'll just click the very first one. Boom. I'm going to make this bigger so we can look at it a little bit easier. This is each of those 14-day averages over time. Okay, so for our county, what we can see is in late March, we didn't really have much, and then over here we had a spike, and you can see if I hover over a specific point, it tells me the date and the value. So this is April 11th. Around April 11th, we were having like a little bit of a spike, and then maybe some social distancing and masks happened and things like that. People started staying inside, and it died back down for a while. And then we had another little bump around the beginning of June. And then we can see what's happening here in recent weeks. And what's great about this, so here's 7/12, here's 7/16, here's yesterday, or 2 days ago, excuse me, and here was yesterday, and today's will likely be somewhere in this area as well. And what's nice about this is these numbers on the side that are real small, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, those are the numbers that a lot of school systems are going by. So one thing that I like to do is I click out of that box and I come over here to insert, and I put in a shape. I put in a rectangle shape from 0, whoops, didn't actually click it, did I? Here we go. From 0 up to 6, and then I come to shape fill, more colors. I'm going to make that one green, and then this transparency I'm just going to slide up a whole bunch, and then shape outline, and I get rid of the outline. Okay, and then I can copy and paste this. Copy and paste, and then I can change that color to be in shape format. I can change that color to be yellow. It'll keep the transparency. Make it a little bit smaller, about to 11. Copy and paste it, and then fill up the rest of this box with it and make it red. And for my school district, this is roughly our status. So we would have been green in here, yellow in here, and red in here. And that's just a nice visual thing to see, to be able to really like picture very easily where are we at, where have we been, what did we do in this area that made it go back down that we might not be doing right now, and things like that. So hopefully, I know that this video is pretty long, but hopefully this lets you make these two different charts, and especially Oh, I messed something up there. I think that was in, oh, that's what I did. There we go. Uh, Hopefully this lets you get these two different charts and this number a little bit easier for your area, and lets you see it before the state reports it, because again they take their time on getting this out, which is fine because they do eventually put it out, but here recently it's been pretty late at night before they've gotten this number out. So hopefully that made sense and was pretty easy to follow, and please remember, wear a mask.